We're going to take a quick look at a problem that may occur because of the input type that we've used. So if you recall, I said we can only use the word input to enter a number. What happens when we try to enter some text? So let's run this program again. I'm not going to change the program, but I'm going to change what I type in. So pressing F5 runs the program. There we go. Please enter a number. I type hello, press enter. We get a mistake. Now we know what the mistake is. We cannot enter text under input. So value doesn't have anything. There's nothing to put into value. There is no number. And this is what the error message is really trying to tell us. It's saying that we've got a name error. We know we can't put it into value, so it thinks that the word we typed in is the variable. And it says, we don't have a variable called hello. Okay, because that's what I actually typed in, hello. And it says, you didn't tell me anything about hello, so it's not defined. Okay, so it can't work out the fact that you've typed in text and you it expected a number. It just says, I thought you were trying to give me a new variable. And you can only do that when you're programming. You can't do it on the input. It won't change things on the input. And again, it's telling us as we go up that we've made an error in line 1 in this particular file. It couldn't work out what the mistake was, but it's trying. And it's given us the line where it thinks the mistake was made, which actually it was. It was because we expected the input to be a number and we gave it a string. And again, it's telling us which file and what line the error occurred on. So the error message, these are really, really important to try to understand. We'll go through them as much as we can. But name error is I didn't have a variable for it. Now I've never tried this before, so let's actually try it. If I have a variable, hello equals, and I'm not going to give it anything at all, I'm just going to give it an empty string, I still think I'm going to get an error because it's expecting a number and I'm giving it a string, but I've got now a variable defined in my program. It is defined, and defined just means I've used it and I've given it the correct name. So let's see what happens with this. Like I said, I've never tried this one before, so we'll see what the result is. I do expect an error. It actually worked. Please enter a number. Hello. Wow. So now that's working. So if I'm a bit silent, it's because I'm shocked and stunned at why it is working. I'm going to tell you why it's working. I now have a variable called hello, but there is nothing in hello. It is still empty. So if I, in my shell, now this is where the shell is useful. We can actually type out messages. We can type bits of program and variables to find out what they stand for. So I'm going to type hello, and it tells me that there's nothing there. It's just empty. I'm also going to type out value, and we're going to find that value also has nothing in it. There we go. Value has nothing in it. So when we typed hello, it wasn't stored in the computer anywhere. But because we defined a variable, okay, it was happy. It couldn't give me this name error, hello is not defined. So all we've done is we've lost our input. It's just ignored it altogether. Now that could be quite useful in our programming. It could be a defensive strategy in our programming to stop the program crashing, so we don't get a red message. But when we think about it, we just don't know what the person's going to type in, and we'd have to have a variable for it. So if my statement was please enter a random word, I would have to have variables for every single word in the English dictionary to prevent my program from crashing. So if I save this and run it again, please enter a random word. Here we go. So let's think of a random word. Let's try school. This is going to crash and it's going to give me this name school is not defined. Oops. Remember the copy in and paste problem we get in Python? There we go. I've got my error and I am expecting it to say school is not defined. And it certainly does. Again, we know how to solve that problem. If I had school equals nothing, I define it, I wouldn't get that particular program to crash. But as it's a random word, I need to think of every single word that we could possibly put in and define them. Not a very sensible program, just to prevent an error. We will attack errors in a different way, so we'll pick up when somebody types a word instead of a number, we will pick that up and we will deal with it in a different way later. This is not a very sensible way of dealing with it, and to be honest, I hadn't tried it before, so I understand why it doesn't work, and I'm trying to help you understand why it works or doesn't work at the same time. So in the next video we're going to start looking at actually getting in words from the keyboard and see what happens when we put numbers in.